Surprise. I bet you were not expecting a video from me. It has been a long time, and I apologize for that. I have thought on many occasions about coming back. Sometimes I have not come back because I was pretty sure whatever it is I wanted to make a video about would only, you know, hold my interest for a short enough period of time that it probably wasn't worthwhile getting people's hopes up about the possibility of me really being back. I'm not sure if that was really as important as I thought it was at the time, but it definitely doesn't matter now. The long and the short of it is, I am sorry that I have been gone for so long, and I really do wish I would have come back a long time ago. Although where to have jumped in, you know, who the hell can say when the best time to have done that might have been. I don't really have an explanation for why I stopped in the first place, to be completely honest. And I certainly can't tell you why I didn't come back at any given time in the past. But I'm coming back now. Largely because there are so many goddamn weird things happening that I think it's, you know, like I said, a shame that I hadn't come back already. Might as well make up for lost time. So, you know, we've all been living through this crazy last several years, you know, the Trump administration, the 2020 election, the pandemic, January 6th, any number of things from, you know, this past time period would have been great fodder for the CitizenWorm channel, or at least the way it looked back when I was actually active. That's something that I wanted to discuss briefly, is that I don't even really know why now, but at some point several years ago I made all of the political videos private, so any subscribers who have, you know, started following the channel since then probably did so in the hope that I might make more music videos, and that is something that could potentially happen. Although my primary reason for coming back is to do the political stuff. I may at some point make some of my old political videos public again, or re-release them in some kind of edited form. But for the moment, I'm not going to do that, just because I think that my primary focus is going to be on making new videos about the stuff that's going on now. And in the course of doing that, I will also probably cover a bunch of the stuff that I missed before, just because I think that's probably the best way to weave it all in together. I'm definitely going to want to talk about the 2024 election and Donald Trump and his supporters. Any number of videos could be made about them in and of themselves. I could definitely do a whole series on, you know, Mike Flynn and Steve Bannon and Paul Manafort and all those guys. I would like to do some videos about SCOTUS. I would like to talk about some of the failures of, you know, the mainstream media and what they're not getting right. I'd also like to talk a lot about what I think the Democrats aren't getting right. There's a whole bunch of ways that I can see the Democrats winning the 2024 election in terms of the general, and doing well in legislative races. Or more to the point, there are a whole bunch of ways that I can see Donald Trump, you know, ensuring that it's for the Democrats to snatch, you know, or not snatch. I mean, if they just perform at their, you know, typical rate, and Donald Trump does any one of a number of things, you know, the Democrats will come out on top. There is one scenario that has been kind of driving me nuts, where I can see the Democrats screwing it up and allowing Trump to take the lead, and I am certainly going to want to make videos about that. I'm going to want to talk about the war in Gaza and Netanyahu. I'm going to want to talk about reproductive rights. I'm going to want to talk about, you know, the grift and the swamp, for lack of a better term. There's going to be a lot of videos. I'm going to try to, from this point on, just, you know, do things the way I did before, which is that if there was something I wanted to talk about, I would just turn on the camera and talk about it, and then I would watch it, and if there was anything that I wanted to say that I left out, any major elements of my argument that I forgot to raise, then I would maybe record it again, and then I would post it, and if there were no major parts that I missed, I would just post the first round. I do remember a few videos from the past where I did take notes when it was something relatively complicated. There was one about the 14th Amendment, because there was a big debate going on between a whole bunch of people, some of whom were U.S. citizens, some of whom were not, and some of the folks from outside the country were having a hard time understanding the 14th Amendment and how that had impacted, like, you know, interstate commerce laws and stuff. And of course this was back when, you know, there was a 10-minute limit, so you really had to be organized. So I may do that a little bit. If I feel like it's worth taking the time to do it, I may even do some, like, editing and, you know, include some other types of footage and graphics besides just me sitting here talking, although that's what all the videos were back in the day. So anybody who digs this channel, you know, would be fine with that being the case. I am interested to know from any of you who are watching this, whether or not you're, you know, from the old days and are interested in the political stuff, or if you are a newer subscriber who's primarily interested in music, even though, you know, the thing that is driving me to come back is the politics. You know, the music is still not off the table, and if there's, you know, a genuine interest in that and an audience for that, I can make a point of trying to make that happen too. If there's anything, you know, that I mentioned in terms of a future topic that you're especially interested in, or if there's some, you know, aspect of any of those stories that you want me to, you know, particularly investigate or talk about, please feel free to mention them. If there's anything I didn't mention in terms of, you know, potential political topics that you're interested in, please feel free to mention those as well. You know, just let me know if you're still here and still interested in my channel, you know, with either a like or a comment of any kind. I have lost some subscribers, which totally makes sense after 14 years of not making any videos. I'm, you know, honestly genuinely surprised with how many there still are, although it's impossible to say how many are still truly active and are still actually interested in the kind of content that I was making before. So anyway, that's the long and the short of it. I'm coming back. If there's anything in particular you want to hear me talk about, let me know. I will, despite, you know, my intention to make regular videos, probably have to take some time off at some point because I'm sort of halfway through some fairly intense dental stuff. The temporary dental piece actually changes the shape of my face, which makes me a little bit self-conscious, but I'm hoping that when the permanent piece is finally put in, that it'll feel more like me. But I guess you guys will all be along with me on that ride to discover it together. Anyway, when that happens, it will be scheduled, so I will try to get some things recorded ahead of time so that even if I can't, you know, record something for a week or so, there's still fresh new content. There's a couple of topics for videos that, even though they're, you know, they're political, they don't necessarily rely on exactly what's going on in the news cycle. You know, they're sort of like, you know, more generalized topics that I still want to touch on. So those have, you know, a good potential to be used for that sort of a situation. Anyway, so I'm back. You're going to see videos from me. Hopefully they will be, you know, as good as they used to be. I'm just going to have to see how I feel in the moment. And I'm anxious to see what's going on with all of you and how many of you are still around, and you know, where your heads are at as far as the kind of content that I used to make. So let me know, and I'll see you again soon.